Hi there, it's Nicole for Simon Says Stamp, and I have a happy birthday card today showcasing the September 2016 Simon Says Stamp card kit, and it has these awesome scratch off stickers from Inky Antics that are so fun, and the stamp set is perfectly sized. There's circles or balloons that you can place those stickers over and then just scratch them off to reveal the stamping underneath. It's just genius. I hadn't seen these before and I was so super excited to try them out. I'm going to create a birthday card with a little bit of inlay, so I'm going to take a couple of Simon Says Stamp frame stamps from the Frames die collection and some of the black cardstock included in the September kit. I'm using a little post-it tape on all four sides, and the reason I'm using so much is I want to obviously keep it perfectly spaced, but I want to hold those dies together because I want to die cut this from both black cardstock and white cardstock, keeping those dies together as best as possible so that I can create that inlay and not have any of the sizes, that inside middle piece, be off at all. So I didn't quite get that cut all of the way out, so I did run it through one more time, and then very carefully I'm just going to peel each of those layers out. The black cardstock stuck a little, so I just kind of tapped it on my table until it kind of popped out and I could pull out that really thin black frame and the scallop black frame. Then I'm going to go ahead and die cut this from white cardstock, and from the white cardstock I will keep that inside rectangle and then that white frame that goes in between the two black frames. So again, just going to carefully pop this out just on the off chance that I mess something up or I have to die cut another piece. I'm going to go ahead and leave those dies together until I'm done designing the card. This would also be great if you want to create multiples of this card design, which would be really easy to do while you have everything out. That way you just have your dies already taped together, and it's really easy to just create or die cut a bunch of them all at once. Now, unfortunately, the white cardstock is a little bit thicker, and I probably should have run it through my die cutting machine more than the couple passes I did. So I had to use my scissors to trim it up a little bit. I'm going to set all those frames aside and go ahead and stamp my greeting, which I'm going to use the big happy birthday greeting from the It's No Secret stamp set included in the September kit. Then I'm going to take Surf Blue and Audrey Blue Simon Says Stamp, or Scuba maybe. I think I used Surf Blue and Scuba inks. So many great blue inks that I love to use from Simon Says Stamp, but I'm going to stamp the balloons kind of underneath the happy birthday greeting. And on one of them, I'm going to stamp You Rock. Then I'm going to stamp some additional balloons all the way across. It is Audrey Blue, so I was right the first time. And I'm going to kind of overlap some of the balloon shapes, have some of them a little bit higher, but everything is going to be kept pretty much below the happy birthday. And I made sure that the balloon that I stamped You Rock on is underneath the text for happy birthday, because that's where I'm going to put that scratch off sticker that's included in the kit. And there's a bunch of them included in the kit. You can make a ton of scratch off cards, which I think is so super fun. I'm going to take the balloon string stamp now, ink it up with black ink, and then stamp that on each of my balloons along the bottom of the card here. I didn't get that one stamped very well. I like to flip my paper to the side. For whatever reason, I find it's a little easier to stamp a design like this. Got my balloon strings, got my background, or my big greeting, which reads Happy Birthday, You Rock. And then I need to just add a little bit of interest to the card design. So what I'm going to do first is stamp the little scratch off sticker and the arrow on the balloon right underneath You Rock. That way the recipient will know that you scratch off that silver with a coin to get the rest of the greeting. So here is that sticker, perfectly sized for the balloon. I'm just going to place that right there. So you can see the little scratch off sign. I did take the Audrey blue ink and stamped over the happy birthday again to give it just a little bit of a blue shadow and add a little bit more color to the top of this panel. Where it's so white, I thought it needed just a little bit more color to that greeting. Then I'm taking some of these awesome Nouveau crystals, this liquid stuff, and making little dots of it. It's kind of like creating your own enamel dots all over the card. So these two colors come in the kit. I thought they worked perfectly with this particular card design. I'm creating a whole scattering of them, just adding to that birthday theme and celebration kind of look of this card design. You can create some of the dots big, some small. You could write with these. They're really fun. I had never used these before either, so it was kind of a whole bunch of new things for me, which is always a good time. Maybe make a couple more here. If you want those dots to flatten out a little bit, tap underneath the paper, and that will help them flatten out and not have any of those little pointy tips. Now, once that was completely dry, I sort of probably should have done this before I added any of that or any of those little dots, but I wanted to create a way to make this whole panel 3D or dimensional on my card base. And one of my favorite ways to do this is with foam adhesive, but instead of trying to position the foam adhesive on the background and then position these frames, which are pretty delicate, what I like to do is use the foam adhesive to not only raise up this panel, but also do the inlay design itself, if that makes sense. All of these different pieces, instead of being stacked one on top of another, are all going to just be inlaid. So the card's going to remain fairly flat. So with just two pieces of foam tape, I am able to do the inlay. Then I can flip it over and completely fill the back with foam adhesive, and that is going to keep this panel completely flat and also secure. So it kind of serves two purposes here. Just gonna go ahead and finish filling up the back, trim that off, peel off all of the backing paper on each of these. And then I'm going to attach this right to my card base. And for my card base, I did trim some of the light blue cardstock included in the card kit. That's what I'm going to place on my side fold card base. I'm using some strong adhesive here just to attach that. I thought a little bit of color on the background of the card would also help this card pop a little bit because it's mostly black and white with a little pops of blue here and there. You'll only see a little bit of that on the outside of this frame. Place my frame right there in the middle. And that is the finished card design. I will kind of fix a couple of my dots here, maybe fill in a couple more where I feel like it needs some. But I also wanted to show you what it looks like when you scratch off that scratch off sticker. So I stamped another one. I dropped the lid, my ink lid on it, so it had to smudge anyway. But there is what it looks like. I'm going to take a coin now and simply scratch that off. And look how awesome that works. I was just so blown away by this. I think it's so super fun. Great interactive way to create any kind of greeting card. Thanks for watching this video showcasing the Simon Says Stamp September 2016 card kit. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos showcasing Simon Says Stamp that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.